Hello, hello. I'm Camden Walker for the Capital Weather Gang. Anytime need us, we're at cwg.live. The week starts kind of gray, a little damp, a little cool, but it doesn't last long. We've got heat building in the middle and end of the week, and we'll need to watch the if we add on some maybe numbers to our heat tracker. 90 degrees or hotter. We have 2 days so far, which is tracking below where we normally are for this time of year, which is 5. Now, in the near term, we're watching radar tonight. This tricky dancing cold front south and west of the region is coming toward the DC area, bringing a focal point for heavy rain. Some flooding downpours have caused the National Weather Service to issue some watches, a flood watch southwest of town, and some flood warnings closer to town. And the chance for flooding downpours does continue into the overnight hours. So we'll need to watch this. But this is interesting how the animation and the contours of what we're seeing on radar match the flooding threat. The least threat is north and east of town toward Baltimore, and a slightly higher threat for flooding downpours south and west of town tonight, especially down near the North Carolina and Virginia border. Hajar, Sonia, and Niman, and Mike, thanks so much for tuning in. Good to see you, Flowers, Richard, Ruth Elisa, and Laura. Appreciate seeing you for our weekly Sunday Sunset Live Q&A chat. I'm Camden Walker for the Capital Weather Gang. Anytime need us. We're at cwg.live. How the heat might build mid to end part of this week. We are talking about that. The cool, damp, gray start to the week doesn't necessarily last. Looking like we might add 1 or 2 days, Wednesday, Thursday perhaps, to our 90-degree day tracker below. Dew points might rise a bit as well. Hate to tell you, we could have some heat index values by the end of the week, and maybe near 100 degrees with dew points in the 70, maybe 75-degree range. So it's getting pretty uncomfortable by the end of this week. So, kind of Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, expect to feel pretty sticky with some extra humidity in the air and the higher dew points. Here's an animation of precipitation for this upcoming week. Now, I want to communicate that we've been damp for a bit here, kind of a same weather pattern that we've had this weekend into the middle, early part of this week. Now it changes for the middle part of this week. We become less cloudy, more warm, warmer, and we have a lower rain chance. But what's tricky with seeing some extra sunshine, as early as Tuesday, we could see a strong storm chance. Kind of the sun is think of it if you had chemistry classes like a Bunsen burner, the sun is warming the ground and it's helping bubble up some warmer air into the cooler parts of the atmosphere, condensing into clouds and kind of providing some circulation in the atmosphere, providing a way for thunderstorms to develop. So we could see some strong storms, maybe south of town as the focal point on Tuesday. The bigger chance for stronger storms in the region might be Thursday, with Wednesday, fingers crossed, being a lower rain and storm chance day. That could be the driest, sunniest day this week, but maybe even the hottest. That is kind of the drawback to extra sunshine. We'll see. There's a battle between Wednesday and Thursday. Which one wants to be the hottest day of this upcoming week? So we'll keep the strong storm chance in the back of our mind. Rainfall amounts are again pretty good this week. We're getting less and less worried about any sort of drought issue in the region, as we've seen only around Baltimore, kind of northeastern parts of Maryland still have a little bit of drought in the area. And in the yellow shading, there's some abnormally dry, not official droughts just yet for those yellow areas in the region, but we're doing a-okay with rain amounts. Week over week, we're seeing very moderate, healthy rain amounts, and clouds kind of follow the rain chance pattern for this week. Early week, cool, a little damp, a little cloudy, but the sun starts breaking out a little bit on Tuesday, and then especially Wednesday, I think, could be our sunniest day of the week. Thursday, Friday, even into the weekend, not too shabby in the sunshine level, so clouds don't hang on too far into past maybe Monday night. Overall, it's kind of turning into a brighter week slowly on Tuesday and especially by Wednesday. My fellow allergy sufferers, just want to flag for you moderate across the board. For spores, I'm also watching at the very bottom graph there. It's something we need to watch for much of the rest of the year. Mold and mildew spores are going to continue to grow for the rest of the year. So my fellow allergy sufferers, keep your allergy meds on hand through much of the rest of the year, especially if you're allergic to spores for mold and mildew. Looking ahead really quick before I take questions and comments, for next work week, we're still looking at a good signal for above average temperatures for next work week. So the heat that kind of starts introducing itself to us by the middle and end of this week. It could continue a bit into the weekend and into next work week as well. I'm honestly seeing only a brief, less warm condition, maybe Friday, Saturday. We'll see. Saturday could get hot again this upcoming weekend as well, but that could continue into next work week as well. The precipitation for next work week, not a strong signal, but leaning above average, which is fine and good just to keep the little bit of drought and abnormally dry issues that we have in our region at bay. But drought is not a concern in our area anymore. National Hurricane Center was pretty quiet, darn quiet for the next 7 days. And just to let you know, of course, as a reminder now that hurricane season, June 1 to November 30th, it has begun. We're looking at an above average forecast for the number of named storms this season. And the first named storm, not even on the horizon yet, would be Andrea for the Atlantic hurricane season. All right, we're watching radar. Let me take your questions and comments as we watch this heavier rain band move closer to the DC kind of Potomac River region. In the DC area, we do have the outlines of green here, some flood warnings, and flash flood warnings in the area. Tamil, thanks so much. And Steve, good to see you in Culpeper. You got your soaking rain Friday and Saturday nights. Yes, you have been in the corridor for some rain. Amy, dew point for tonight and Monday is kind of under control. I don't think we see dew points really getting towards 70 degrees until Tuesday. And then Wednesday and Thursday look like 70 to 75-degree range, unfortunately. Here's NWS, National Weather Service watches and warnings, a large green swath southwest of DC. That's where we're seeing a flood watch. And closer in, we are watching these flood warnings get issued with the heavier rain bands and flooding downpours that we did expect. We did think that this contour of the map here below, with a slight chance for our area, does follow the shape and form of the tricky dancing front. It's a quasi-stationary front that tries to move north as a warm front right now and might move back as south as a cold front briefly. It is the focal point for these rains. So the shape and contour of this map follows what we're seeing on radar, where we're thinking the latest position is of this tricky dancing front in our region. Asesimo on X thinks today was perfect. I'm so glad you liked it. And Rick, heavy rain in Fairfax last hour. Yes, indeed. And thanks for that report. And Lewis, yard work this week. You will be dodging rain, but I think Wednesday offers you a nice little window there if you can focus outdoor plants and yard work on Wednesday. There's a dip in the rain chances and storm chances for that day. Patty, hello, good to see you. MWYs, Maxwell, and CBS, and B. Gilbert, and Pamela, and Sarah. Thanks so much for tuning in. Pewee fan, early Monday morning for a bike ride. I'm not liking how it's looking tomorrow morning. That the rain chances are kind of focused for tomorrow anyway on the morning hours. And I'm not sure that this front with its associated rains is going to clear out in time for tomorrow morning. This could continue a bit overnight at times. Let's see, the Creed and Frolic and William and Eric, Cox Photography. Good to see you. I really appreciate seeing all of you on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and X. Repeat any questions or comments that I haven't gotten to, but I think that is great. Jay and Caroline, good to see you. And Liz. And air quality is looking good for this week. Maybe yellow on as early as Wednesday. Dave, but smoke is behaving itself coming from the Canadian wildfires, not much at all so far as it looks into midweek. Good air quality, perhaps a little bit less optimal by Wednesday, maybe code yellow. Lisa, thanks so much for tuning in. And Caroline, yes, the signal for warmth next week, let's look at that again really quick. Here's temperatures, the signal above average with decent probability for next work week. So the heat that we're getting introduced to in the middle part of this week, and maybe it kind of resurges again this upcoming weekend, could last into next week, next work week as well. And while we're here talking about trends for the medium term, precipitation next week may, slight probability, may lean above average, which is a-okay to keep our water table and our crops and our gardens in good shape. The drought is not a concern right now. A little bit left there in northeastern Maryland. All right. We are watching the heat tracker this week with heat building middle part of this week. We could add to this, we're tracking below average for year to date. Only 2 days have hit 90 or hotter this year. Normally, as you can see, five, and this heat tracker can be found at cwg.live. I'm Camden Walker. This is our weekly Sunday Sunset Live Q&A, and the dew points are adding to our discomfort in the middle part of this week as well. 70 to 75 degree range for the dew points can't be ruled out for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday as it looks now. Let's animate precipitation for this week. Now, rain chances do go down as the heat builds. Sunshine returns for the middle part of this week as well. But we do have a strong storm chance to talk about in the middle part of this week. Mainly focused, I think, on a little bit Tuesday and more so on Thursday, with maybe a break. Can't say storm free for Wednesday, but maybe a break on Wednesday. Laura, you're most welcome on the allergy report. We'll review that in just a moment. And Scott, appreciate you as well. BGMI, good to see you. Thanks for tuning in on YouTube. And Kara, good to see you. And Ruth Elisa, not too much soaking full days that I see ahead. The rain chances do go away slowly in a broader sense, but overall rain chances over rain amounts over the next 7 days are still healthy, Ruth Elisa. I just think as our more waves of light and steadier rain and waves of storms like we're seeing tonight, I think we can start putting this behind us tomorrow morning. Now, showers and a storm are possible again Monday afternoon, Monday night, and even Tuesday when we do have a strong storm chance, especially south of town, a slight chance for a strong storm on Tuesday as sun starts breaking out and bubbling up and mixing the atmosphere and helping to germinate some of these storms in a percolating coffee percolator fashion. But the main storm chances for Thursday that we're going to be a little bit more concerned about, a little more watchful for the ingredients coming together on Thursday. So for now, flooding downpours remain a threat into tonight and early tomorrow morning. National Weather Service issued a flood watch southwest of town and a few warnings for flooding closer to town, and we'll need to watch radar over the coming hours as the focal point is this dancing, tricky, quasi-stationary front that is now moving toward the DC area and the Potomac River, and that is providing a nice convergence for the ingredients for moisture just coming together and being pushed together up into some towering downpours into the region. So that is something we need to watch. But luckily, as Ruth, Lisa, and I were talking about, rain chances are going down a little bit, stair stepping downward somewhat this week. But while we have a lower rain chance overall than kind of this cool, cloudy pattern that we've been in, we do see storm chances for most of this week. Maybe a slight break, lowest chance maybe on Wednesday, maybe. But it remains to be seen. We can't fully rule out storms this week, but we'll get more sunshine, which is some good news. If you've been missing the sunshine, clouds do start dissipating a little bit Tuesday, and especially Wednesday. It looks like pretty darn sunny, I think. So that's some good news if you've been missing the sun. But rainfall accumulation kind of focused a little bit on Monday, especially Monday morning, tomorrow morning. And then again, Tuesday, Thursday, those could be some good contributions to the 7 day rainfall amounts over the next 7 days. We have healthy rain amounts in the region. Good evening, David. Good to see you. And Kook, good to see you. And Bill, glad you've managed to dodge the rain so far. You are outside some of this radar that we're watching for the flood warnings near DC and the Potomac River. Let's see. Charlene, let's talk about allergies for you and I think Lauren as well, Laura as well on Facebook there and on YouTube. So let's go. Here's the chart right now, moderate across the board, and I'm just flagging the below chart at the very bottom there. That's mold and mildew spores, which are going to be building throughout the rest of this year. So just maintain your prophylactic allergy medications and methodologies to, as a fellow allergy sufferer, you want to just be on top of things. So mold and mildew are, along with grasses, weeds, and trees, are all moderate for the DC local number. But kind of what we need to, a marathon, not a sprint. We need to watch how there's an increase usually expected going into the warm season for mold and mildew spores. So I hope that helps my fellow allergy sufferers handle things. And while we're looking kind of ahead at the medium term, we do see warmth again coming into the middle part of this week, maybe into the weekend as well. For next work week, it looks like it could last. There's a very decent signal for warm above average temperatures for this time of year, continuing into next work week. Precipitation, less of a signal, but leaning above average for next work week as well. All right, and while we're talking longer, broader here for the next week, we've got nothing to worry about for tropical activity in the tropical Atlantic. Hurricane season, though, while usually June is pretty quiet in the tropical Atlantic, June 1 to November 30th is the entirety of hurricane season, and it's expected overall to be above average with the named number of named storms this time for 2025. Not on the horizon yet, Andrea would be our first tropical storm name for the year as well. All right, let me check questions and comments while we watch radar and this convergence of downpours around and just south of DC and Northern Virginia. We've got flood warnings being issued as we are broadcasting to you tonight on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and X, and also at cwg.live. And S. Purcell, good to see you, and DJS and Rosie, Melanie and Joke and Siniel, SH and George and Mari and Skywalker. Let's see. I don't have that for you right now, but thanks for tuning in on Instagram. And HB Purcell. Uh, Lightning is a slight risk, but mostly these are downpours with a little bit less in the way of thunder and lightning than is typical for the DC area. That's a great question. Uh, let's see. Let's see. I so far no CBS, no threats from the tropical Atlantic for the Outer Banks next week. That's some great news there for you. So please have a good time at the beach. Katie and NIC and SA and Smiley and Jeffrey, thanks for tuning in on Instagram. Paul, if you're looking for 24 hours to do that yard work, I was talking with gosh, who was I talking with just a moment ago about yard work, maybe focusing on Wednesday. That might be with Lewis. So Wednesday looks like we could have a 24-hour period around the Wednesday timeframe with the least amount, and I don't want to say zero amount, but the least amount of storm chance, perhaps, I think on Wednesday. We'll see. Liz is reporting pouring in Ashburn. Catherine, you're most welcome. Julia, thanks. I'm glad you like the allergy updates. Let's talk about severe weather potential this week. Slight on Tuesday, especially south of town. The Storm Prediction Center is watching kind of a 5% chance for within 30 miles of the highlighted spots there. There's a chance for a strong, severe storm. I think maybe, flooding downpours is still on the table, along with maybe damaging wind gusts over 57 miles per hour. So we'll need to watch that for Tuesday. The bigger day, though, we're going to watch is for Thursday. Slightly higher chance for ingredients to come together. Not guaranteed, but ingredients could come together for strong and severe storms on Thursday. So we need to watch that as we get closer. And again, healthy rainfall amounts over the next 7 days. We're not worried about dryness, droughts, maybe a little bit in northeastern Maryland, but overall the region is in very good shape. With Lisa, happy Father's Day to you and your family. I hope that is going well. Dad, I'm going to call you right after this. Dave, you're most welcome. You have a great rest of the week and happy solstice coming up. Indeed, pouring in Springfield. Thanks for that report with Lisa. Catherine, you're most welcome. And let's see. Yep, David, rain washes out the pollen from the atmosphere, so that does help allergy sufferers, except when there's too much rain, you get some of this mold and mildew that we don't want to see building in the bottom chart there, typical of the warm season throughout the rest of the year. We need to be aware of that. All right, let's see. Frickle and Steven and Skywalker and Katri and Aaron and Jen and Mom and Erica and Seth and Boss. Good to see you, Kate. Thank you so much for tuning in. All right, Liz, I will do. All right, I'm on the air another 1 minute or so. Let me know if you have any last questions or comments. We've reviewed the pollen report for this week, moderate across the board for weeds, grasses, trees, and mold and mildew spores. Next work week looks similarly warm as we're going to see getting introduced to warmth this upcoming week and weekend. Could continue into next week. Less clear if precipitation stays wet next week. Just a slight signal for above average wetness. But hey, drought is limited, very limited, not a worry in our region except in a little bit in the northeastern Maryland area. No worries in the tropics over the next 7 days, but overall hurricane season through November 30th expected to be above average. Andrea would be our first name on the list for the tropical Atlantic this year. Please watch radar with us tonight as flooding downpours do continue around town and parts south and west of town. Also, where there is a flood watch issued by the National Weather Service, we'll see if a flood watch gets issued closer to DC and the Potomac River, but so far these are just warnings. They've had issue as we're kind of watching in real time these flooding downpours take shape. Now, the threat for flooding downpours here below does follow the contour of this front. It's a dancing, tricky, quasi-stationary front in the region. So higher heavy rain chances are south and west of town, with the lowest chance for flooding downpours northeast of town toward Baltimore. So that is how it's shaping up tonight. And our heat tracker will be updated continually on CWG.live. So far, only two this year. But look at that. Wednesday and Thursday could offer another couple chances to add to our heat tracker of the number of days 90 degrees or hotter. And sorry, those who don't like humidity, it's coming back Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, perhaps 70 to 75-degree range. And overall precipitation patterns this week, we're going to kick out the cool, gray, damp stuff, especially tomorrow morning. There's a good little chance for some more rain. But it's slowly by Tuesday, we're going to see some more sunshine develop. Rain chances are lowering. Here are the cloud formats for this week. It's going to get turn sunnier a little bit on Tuesday, and especially Wednesday into the rest of the week. Clouds do break up, sun comes back. This does raise the chance for some strong storms a little bit on Tuesday, especially south of town. And then Thursday is kind of the bigger chance for some strong storms. So we'll need to watch that as we get closer. So rain chances decrease after tomorrow morning, but what I want to communicate is that we're not saying zero storms for the rest of the week, just a little more sunshine, but the storm chances, while they will be lower and rain chances lower after Monday, after tomorrow, don't be completely unaware of the weather and storms this week. Tuesday and Thursday could offer some strong storm chances, even though overall rain chances are lower and we'll have more sunshine. Take care for now. Anytime you need us for CWG.live, I'm Camden Walker signing off. You have a great week, Julia. And Paul, so far, I'm going to say rain amounts are doing okay for droughts and surplus right now. We're kind of threading that needle nicely. Amy, very good. And Jack, good to see you. And Liz, thanks again. All right, everyone.